What's going on, guys? Ryan O'Toole back here again, giving you guys the most anticipated review of the year, possibly. Today I'm going to be reviewing a movie you probably never even heard of before. It's a very small movie. It's a blockbuster. I'm just kidding, guys. It's Tenet, directed by Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, one of the best directors working today. He's made some of my favorite movies of all time. This was one of the most anticipated films of the year. Tenet, you got John David Washington, Robert Pattinson, Elizabeth Debicki, Kenneth Branagh, Michael Caine, and Aaron Taylor Johnson. If you guys are new here, feel free to click that subscribe button and that bell notification icon for more reviews, reactions, rankings, and more movie content. Armed with only one word, Tenet, and fighting for the survival of the entire world, a protagonist journeys through a twilight world of international espionage on a mission that will unfold in something beyond real time. I think everybody in the universe was excited for Tenet, including me. Christopher Nolan, he's one of my favorite directors working today. He's inspired my love for cinema. This review is completely spoiler-free, so don't worry, guys, if you haven't seen Tenet yet or are unable to see this movie because your theaters are closed. Do not worry, this is 100% spoiler-free. You are safe here. Now, I'm not trying to be completely biased here because I'm a Christopher Nolan fan and I love all his movies, but I would be lying to you guys if I didn't say I had a smile on my face or was invested or didn't love this movie because I loved every minute of Tenet. I was highly invested in the 2.5-hour runtime. This movie was intense, it was thought-provoking, it was action-packed, and it was really layered. And that's a big word. Layered. I think the practical effects in this movie are absolutely spectacular. And this is nothing new. Christopher Nolan is a director that loves practical effects. He is all about real over CGI. While there is some CGI in a lot of his big blockbuster movies, he's all about practical effects. Car chases, boat sequences, swimming, just any scene on a boat or a train or in a car. It's done in the most unique way possible and mind-blowing way possible. The opening 10 minutes of this movie is flawless. Like, you're thrown right in, the story starts, you're getting into it, but after that first 7 to 10 minutes hits, I was locked in. The middle act had just gorgeous cinematography with just mind-blowing action and just mind-blowing moments that I've pretty much not seen in much Christopher Nolan films, but just was floored with the pacing in the middle act. John David Washington as the lead protagonist in here. He's fantastic. I love John David Washington. Loved him in BlacKkKlansman. And in here in Tenet is phenomenal. He's unsure of a lot of things. He's thrown into this world and he knows how to kick ass. John David Washington did a great job with the stunt work in here. And I was really floored by his performance, as well as Robert Pattinson. His character in here was much more complex than I thought, and his chemistry with John David Washington is great. Their banter back and forth was really cool, and his character says some funny, smarky one-liners that are thrown in there. Elizabeth Debicki might have given one of her best performances in her career. I've seen her in some small films she's popped up in, like in Guardians Volume 2, but in here, she really knows how to put herself on the big screen, and her presence was really strong and felt. You feel bad for her in a lot of instances and was just floored with her character. Every scene with Kenneth Branagh, just every time he talked with that evil accent, I was on the edge of my seat. Like, he was just given such a committed performance, and Kenneth Branagh gets pretty overlooked. He's always committed to any character he plays. Ludwig Göransson's score, my God, my goodness. Now, there's no Hans Zimmer. Of course, Hans Zimmer's doing No Time to Die in Dune. So a lot of people were concerned there's no Nolan movie with a Hans Zimmer score. Well, let me tell you what, Ludwig Göransson was a perfect replacement because his score is my favorite score of the year so far, hands down. You don't have a second to breathe with his score. Like the first 10 minutes, his score is just, I got chills. In the middle act and the final act, I was just floored with a lot of the techno beats he thrown in there. And just, it's a very classic, like you feel like Hans Zimmer did the score, but it's Ludwig Göransson. This guy won an Oscar for composing Black Panther. It's an amazing score. Tenet is not your typical movie, so if you're a general audience goer and you're expecting a completely understandable movie, well, then you went to the wrong movie, and or you haven't seen a Christopher Nolan movie, because this movie is confusing and throws out a lot of information on you on first viewing, and I was definitely confused with the majority of the film, but I think that's the appreciation I have for Christopher Nolan. He respects the audience. He wants you to get invested in the story, pay attention to every single frame of dialogue that's said. The last hour of this movie, I was pretty much lost with where the story was going. Just trying to understand where character motivations were and what was particularly going on. There's one character that does get thrown in here, like the second half of the film. I was wondering what his motivations were and where his character was going to go. Like, his character shows up, and I wanted to know more about him. Like, it's nothing bad, just I felt like once he was thrown into the film, then it got kind of confusing for me. Before we give you guys my final overall thoughts on Tenet, if this is your guys' first time checking out my channel and you enjoyed hearing my thoughts on this movie, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and consider clicking that subscribe button, because I do tons of new release movie reviews every week. I do ranking videos, Blu-ray hauls at the end of the month, and if you're interested in me talking about movies and movie news and stuff like that, I do a podcast called the Fallen for Film Podcast with my buddy and co-host Colin Williams. We dive into all the newest trends in movie news, we have guests on, and we just talk about film in an in-depth, chill analysis. Podcast platform links are in the description. Tenet is one of the most mind-blowing experiences of 2020. Hands down, the action, just the sound effects, and the IMAX experience is the way to go. Christopher Nolan has such a respect for the audience as well as his actors. Just this whole world is very interesting. The characters, performances, everything I loved about the film was great. It's very confusing on first viewing, but I feel like on multiple rewatches, it'll be very understanding. On my rating scale, I'm going to give Tenet an A. There you go, guys. That was my final overall thoughts on Tenet. Have you guys seen Tenet yet, and what were your thoughts on the film? Did you love it like me, think it was okay, or did you absolutely hate it? Now that I've seen Tenet, guys, look forward to my ranking of all 11 Christopher Nolan movies. That is coming up next. Thank you guys, as always, for watching this review. All my social media links are in the description below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.